Hi, this is Matt Buehrle of Table Communities, and it goes without saying that we are in what we perceive to be a strange time, not unprecedented in the history of the world, of course, but some would compare it to wartime with Netflix, minus the war. Some would compare it to the other viruses throughout history. But from my perspective, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on epidemiology or anything like that. I'm just going to speak from a pastoral perspective and say that we at Table Communities strongly believe in community being foundational to doing the ministry of the church. And without having actual tables, it's really hard to actually be in community with one another. That being said, virtual community is certainly something that we can push toward in this interim season, however long that may last, in order to interact with one another and table with one another during a time when we can't physically be with one another. And so we will be looking at ways to do that in the coming days, coming weeks, perhaps coming months. And for now, what we'll be doing is preparing a service for you to do in your own home so that we can all be on the same page, doing the same service, being connected to one another in that way. And with some of the liturgical things that we do, being connected to the saints throughout the history of the world. I hope my fingers and hands in the video aren't too distracting. They will be now. But what I did want to mention is that when we have this extra time, and let me put that in quotation marks, for those who have kids, it may not feel like extra time at all. It may feel like you've lost time because of the additional time needed to interact with the kids, the blessing that is. But then you may find yourself saying, I just don't have time for even spending more time in the scriptures, in prayer, the things that I want to do. And so I just want to draw your attention, which some of you may know about this guide, Common Prayer, a Liturgy for Ordinary Radicals. You can get the app on the Play Store and I believe on the Apple Store, though I'm not an Apple person myself. Not opposed to the Apple, just not an Apple person myself. And what I wanted to point out is just the first couple lines of midday prayer are, draw us into your love, Christ Jesus, and deliver us from fear. Since I can't find it, I'm going to pretend I'm looking at it right now. Draw us into your love, Christ Jesus, and deliver us from fear. And after those words are spoken, there's to be a time of silence to let that settle into your soul. Draw us into your love, Christ Jesus, and deliver us from fear. And then there's an additional 10 to 20 minutes of prayer, depending how long you have, depending how you want to take it, depending how much time you need or want to spend in silence during that time, in order to embrace the love of Christ that delivers us from fear. And so this could certainly be a time where you're drawn to fear with the influx of information and misinformation. And so during this time, let's together ask God to draw us into his love and to deliver us from fear. And then it goes into other prayers. I'm not going through it all right now, but if you just simply get the app, the Common Prayer app that will be this color with this design on one of those websites, unless you already have this guide. It's midday prayer. It's easy to find. And together we can pray that very simple prayer along with the other prayers, and knowing that others are praying those very same prayers along with us. Draw us into your love, Christ Jesus, and deliver us from fear. So tomorrow night I'll be posting Sunday morning's liturgy, that is order of service that you can do in your own home very easily, or as in you can lead it in your home if other people live in your home, or you can do it as an individual. But I just wanted to make you aware that going forward, it feels very odd to me that a place called Table Communities wouldn't be able to have people sitting across from the table from me and from you. But we'll do it virtually and figure this thing out together. God bless.